ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਇੱਕ ਸਤ ਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ
ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਕਰੀ ਕਚਹਿਰੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਾਰੀ, ਕਿਸ ਧਨ ਦੇ ਕਿਸ ਮ੍ਰਿਦੁਲ ਉਚਾਰੀ।
ਗੁਰੂ ਰੂਪ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਵਾਰੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ, ਜੋ ਵੀ ਵੱਡਿਆਂ ਭਾਗਾਂ ਵਾਲੇ ਮਾਈ ਭਾਈ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੇਰੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਤਿਗੁਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਗੋਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਜੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਨ। Let us all focus our attention on the divine Swarup of Tan Tan Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And today try and tune our focus as much as we can to that we are sitting in the hajuri in the presence of Guru Arjan Dev Jee Maharaj. Yesterday was Friday, and Friday was the day, exactly yesterday was the day that Guru Arjan Dev Jee Maharaj had left the house, the palace of Jahangir, and entered the house of Chandu. Whilst our focus is on Satguru Arjan Dev Ji, Tan Nirankar Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, let us join in Good Fateh to Guru Sahib Ji and get the asisa so that what we hear becomes a guiding light in our lives. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So Guru Roop, Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, last week we heard how Jahangir had asked a certain set of questions. Basically, what is the rasta, the way to God, to Allah, to Khuda? And then, who is greater, the Hindus or the Turks? Who shall go to hell, the Hindus or the Turks? Who will come to know Khuda, the Hindus or the Turks? Who is speaking the truth and who is lying? Even though the questions he had asked were tactical in the sense that Maharaj would choose one of the two according to his thinking, Guru Pasha Maharaj gave that answer, which is the Siddhant of Guru Arjan Dev Jee's house. Sab mein jyot, jyot hai soye, tisda hai chanan. Sab mein chanan hoye, that the light of Akal Purkhwai is in everyone. And as people understand, or as their mazhab, their dharm, their deen has named that light, they call upon it. Some say Khuda, some say Ram. Maharaj is some drishti, equal bachan, which is to all of humankind, all of mankind, is what was shared in the Darbar of Jahangir. Once the Darbar of Jahangir had been dismissed, Guru Patsha Maharaj, Guru Arjan Dev Ji are in the courtyard with the 5 Sikhs getting ready to leave. Chandu has taken the opportunity to go to Jahangir and say to him, "We are Jahangir Badshah. Let me take Guru Arjan Dev Ji to my house, jithe mein seva karanga, and also chastise him, tell him off for having kept thieves and also having given time and a place to stay to your Shehzada Keh Kusra." Jahangir said, "Hanji, theek hai, let's go ahead, do that." Soon as he got the yes he wanted, he has left with the 5 Sikhs, the Palki carriers, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. He's got them surrounded by his guards, and he's making his way to his house. It is late evening, the sun has set, it is dark, and Chandu enters his house. The 5 Sikhs that are with Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, Pai Prana, Pai Laha, Pai Jetha, Pai Pera, and Pai Vidya Ji, Baba Vidya Ji Maharaj, all these Brahmagyani Surveer Mahatmas that are with Sadguru Arjan Dev Ji, they are told to wait in the Diori. Chandu, he is the first minister, so he's a very well-off individual. Where his house is, the grounds on which his house is very large and there are many buildings. The gatehouse, even if you go towards Surrey, I used to go to Surrey doing deliveries at one time, and I used to come to some houses that were 1 mile, 2 miles away from the road, and the driveway that led to them had a gatehouse at the front. We're used to living in 3-bedroom houses. These properties would have almost a 2 or 3 bedroom size property just as the gatehouse. So this Diori into his grounds is where he has the 5 Sikh enter into. The Palki of Maharaj is carried by the Palki Sevadars further into the grounds and into a building separate from this gatehouse. Maharaj's Palki is then lowered down. The Sevadars who carried the Palki, Chandu has ushered them out and told them to leave. He tells his guards, I'm just summarizing before we start off from where we want to pick up from. He tells the guards, make sure you have your sword in one hand and your tal in the other. I don't want you to wait for something to happen and then be ready. I want you to be tiyar wa tiyar, ever ready now. Make sure you do not put your sword away or your tal, and with your sword and tal in one hand, in each hand, do not take your eyes off Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and do not take your eyes off the Sikhs. Should anyone come near here, beat them and send them away. He says this whilst he's saying this in his mind. Paisa Santokh Singh, he writes, Bada khush hai. He's very happy. He's thinking the one thing that I thought was out of my reach is finally in my grasp, and that is Guru Arjan Dev Ji. I tried many things. I sent Sulli Khan, Salabi Khan, the 2 generals of Jahangir's army. They both died. I tried many various other ways, but I did not succeed. So the man which for once I've got Guru Arjan Dev Ji where I want him, and I can do what I want to do. ਏਦਾਂ ਸੋਚਦਾ he doesn't even ask Guru Sahib ji me tusi jal shakana ya kuch khana khana. All the Gursikhs, he's got no concern with them whatsoever. Remember, it's these days, and the temperatures in Lahore today are probably anywhere between 35 to 40 degrees, Guru Ki Sangat ji. It's hot weather. Maharaj has been in the Kacheri of Jahangir all day, doing goshti, doing dialogue. And he has no concern whatsoever. He said to Jahangir, there is no seva. He's taken Guru Arjan Dev Jee that kuch nahi puchya, idan diyan gallan sochda hoya. He goes and retires to his house to go to sleep. The guards are on guard. In the morning, the sound of the trumpets awaken everyone. And the trumpets are from the palace of Jahangir, because he is now going back to Delhi. Chandu makes his way to the palace of Jahangir, and he starts small talk with Jahangir. He says, Jahangir, you go ahead, Badshah. We Shah, tusi jao, main thade piche aavanga, 2 din baad. I'll come after you in 2 or 3 days. You carry on ahead, because I've got some matters of accountancy to take care of. The whole year's taxes come in. I need to do sab, how much profit we made, jama kinna hoya, kharch kinna hoya. Idan diyan gallan he says to Jahangir that I will do the accounting of how much profit we made, what our costs have been, and how much we have now saved in the royal treasury. This will take me a few days. After a few days, I will follow after you. While he's having this talk, in between, he again puts masala and he puts whispers in Jahangir's ear. He said, listen, Jahangir ji, Badshah Salamat, no doubt that some Sikhs will know people in your administration. They will try and get word to you. We don't find Guru Arjan Dev Jee, release Guru Arjan Dev Jee. But unless I punish Guru Arjan Dev Jee for keeping your Sayyidana, everyone will turn around and revolt at any kind of command you give. So don't listen to him. Meaning, if anyone makes any representation, regardless of how they're connected to administration, just say, by that time I'll have done explaining to Guru Arjan Dev Ji that you've done wrong. Guru Ki Sangat Ji, he has no intention of explaining anything to Guru Arjan Dev Ji in regards to Khusro, the son of Jahangir. His intentions are different. And Jahangir, like I explained, sorry Maharaj Kirpatan, like we heard last week, Jahangir has already wanted to see some kind of measure taken against the Guru Karna. So both are into this. They are both married into this venture together. So once Chandu finishes Jahangir, he then goes and sees his courtiers. The reason why I'm explaining this, Guru Ki Sangat Ji, ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ. That did Chandu just, was it a kind of knee-jerk reaction? This was a very planned action against Satguru Arjan Dev Ji, against the Guru Karna. Just as it was a planned action in 1984, they didn't go to get Sant Janal Singh Ji Maharaj. They had planned it from 2-3 years prior to attack the center of the Sikh faith, so the Sikhs would get scared. So he finishes with Jahangir, then he goes to other courtiers that are there also to see Jahangir off, because he's a Shah. As he's leaving, all his administration is going to be there with their party hats on and maybe party poppers or whatever else they had in those days. So they are all there, and then he goes to the courtiers and he says to them, look, I'm staying behind on the strength of your support. Should anyone, either whilst Jahangir is leaving, or even Delhi, ride and get to Delhi and in the morning say to Jahangir, Chandu nu kaho vi, Guru Arjan Dev Shadawa will set this, will sort this out in a different way. He said, cut their words. First of all, don't let anyone reach Jahangir. Should they reach Jahangir, cut them off halfway by saying, we Jahangir aapna ki fikir on the gal bachana. Why do we need to get involved in these religious matters and whatnot? So he says, then let their strength and your strength from staying behind. Do whatever you can and make sure that no one reaches Jahangir the Shah. Those that were there, he knows what people want. Everyone needs something. Those that are greedy for money, he gives them tongue, gives them money. Those that are greedy for vidiyai, for praise, he says to them things, Mridal Uchari, Bhai Sahib uses in this something. He uses sweet words like, if it wasn't for you, the administration of Jahangir would fall apart. You're such an integral part of Jahangir's administration. I think out of everyone, you're going to be the one who's going to fill this position when it becomes available. So he's giving them he's using all sorts of ways to get them to assure him that Chandu, you stay here, jo tu karna tu kar, we've got this covered. And it's from here that we pick up of what Bhai Santokh Singh Ji Maharaj has written about the Mahan, the unparalleled Shaheedi of Satguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji.
करी कचहरी अपनी सारी
He has made the whole court his own, meaning all the courtiers and all those other administration staff are there. They have all sided with him.
किस तन दे किस मृदुल उचारी
To some he has bribed with money. To others he has besotted them with using such sweet words.
जस जस हते तथा हर खाए
Whatever their needs were, he has given them to them.
शाहू समीप समूह सहाय
Bhai Sahib writes, Shah Sameep Samu Sahai. That these are the people that look very splendorous in the court of Jahangir. When we see people like MPs or anyone else with a title, we get really excited. When should a royal visit the Gurdwara, Guru ki Sangat ji apne muh udhar nu hunde pet Guru Sahib wal hundi hai. Just because someone has of a title doesn't mean that they have got good qualities in them. I'm not knocking any royal or any MP or anyone else. What I'm saying is, somebody paints the picture that these people, they look very splendorous, but andron dekho, within their hearts, they've all plotted not only to deceive Jahangir, but plotted against the light of this universe. Satguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj.
चंदू हटियो तीर हर धर के
Now he's confident. Now they've all agreed with him. You worry, we will take care of this.
दुष्ट पने मह चीत को धर के
He's left Jahangir's the bar and now he's thinking, I will do exactly as my mind pleases.
सबिन छड़ाए मूड तह आयो
He's now seen heaven and earth. Jahangir has left. He's done his bye-byes as well.
सतगुर अर्जन जे अरता अतरायो
Now he's returned to that building where Satguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj has spent the entire night. No water, no food, no nothing. Guru Ki Sangat Ji, Guru Maharaj doesn't need anything. Guru Maharaj removes the book of the Gursikh. The Guru that removes the book of the Gursikh, what book can he possibly have? But it's the disrespect. It's the blatant disrespect that with what they can do. Yeah, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਣੀ ਤੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ
बैठो सन्मुख रिश्ते भरो
ਬੈਠੇ ਸਨਮੁਖ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇ ਭਰੋ. Now what he does, where Satguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj ਆਸਣ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਨ, where Satguru Arjan Dev Ji, he comes and sits opposite Satguru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, and his face, on his face you can see is very obviously angered.
कहत पयो बच दुख ते जरो
Then he speaks words which also reflects the anger with deep within inside him.
मोर सुता की मोर सगाई
More sudaki, more sugai. More means mine, more also means refused. Paisab used the same word in their Kamal. They say more sudaki, more sagai, that you, my daughter, you refused her hand in marriage to your son Hargobind Sahib.
कोहू न मांगी बिन अलाई
You did not even listen to one plea I made. I made many pleas. I sent many people. Sat Sangat he didn't send many people. That do you know who I am? I'm Chandu, the first minister of the Shah. I am powerful. If you don't accept that, but who's he trying to scare? The Nirbaho, the embodiment of fearlessness. Dhan Satguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj.
भेजे दोए बार पुर लागी
Peje doe bar purnagi. Lagi are those people who work for someone in the capacity, like for example, in rich households, you may have servants, you have also their holy man who effectively works for them, their Baba that gives them spiritual guidance. The Lagi here, Paisab is referring to, and Chandu is definitely referring to, is their Prohit. He sent his Prohit twice 2 times to the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, Sri Amritsar Sahib. Twice he sent his representatives there to say, first one was for the Rista Pakka, okay, the second time was to do the Rista Pakka. So first was the Rista Di Gal Hoyi, and the second time was Rista Pakka only. And the third time is when he sent the guards. So if to count the first two as one and the guards as the second, this is what he's referring to. He said, twice I sent to your pre Amritsar Sahib, my lagis, my representatives.
At chinta jita hamre lagi.
But you didn't even once think, hey Guru Arjan Dev Jee, you didn't even once think that the amount of worry I've got at your refusal. Did you not think that? Do you even know how much chinta I have got?
Len saak to raho ke thai.
And when I sent them, forget you taking the saat, the rista of my daughter. Instead, what did you do?
Dei mohe ko kar samtai.
Instead of accepting the rista, you were thinking, entertaining the thought of accepting the rista. You call me a dog instead. He's sitting before Guru Arjan Dev Jee Maharaj saying these things. This blind fool is not even once thinking, now, the way he's talking is with anger.
Ablo kachura begoro sukane.
Now, Guru Ki Samati, we must be mindful of one thing. He is about 60 years of age. So his upward puna inside him, man, I've got a governmental position. Man, he's rich as well. And he's from a Khatri background. So he's got all this pomp in his head. His age as well. And then he's sitting before Guru Arjan Dev Jee Maharaj, who are way younger than him. So he's in a very angry tone. He said, even now, Guru Arjan Dev Jee, even now, nothing has been damaged. Regardless of what you've done to my household, even now, there is nothing damaged. Not even in your dreams has anything gone wrong there.
Natale ho jaho kar apne.
Just accept the hand in marriage of my daughter. Say you will take my daughter's hand in marriage to your son, and then go back to your house,
Natku kar pakho jimujaba.
or else. Otherwise, you don't like that dog that you called me? I will make like that mad dog.
Lago gal ku kar hoye abe.
I shall become like that mad dog and I'll set about you, meaning we will put down like a mad dog sets amongst a person, I will set myself against you just like that.
Neho jawab mein karo upaye.
Answer me so I can make arrangements. What arrangements is he talking about? Guru Ki Sangat? Gee, let's hear this.
Soj pe aha ki. Keh tum kae.
Either I will make arrangements for my daughter's wedding, otherwise I will make arrangements to kill you, Guru Arjan Dev Jee. Guru Ki Sangati, he's sitting here saying this. He's sitting here saying all of this, right? Now, if you take your minds back to when Guru Arjan Dev Jee Maharaj went to the Darbar of Jahangir, Jahangir had already planned in his head, I'll ask these questions, these are the only answers Guruji can give, and then I've got him cornered. Right? Assumption. He is sitting here thinking, Hello, Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Then I will say, either accept my daughters. I will make Guru Arjan Dev Ji feel guilty by saying, look, you had no chinta about me. Look what I've gone through. Look what you put me through. Look at the shame you brought to my family. Once I've made Guru Arjan Dev Ji feel guilty, then I'll strike while the iron is hot. How will he strike? That either I'll make arrangements for the wedding, or I'll make arrangements to kill you. Now, which one is it going to be? That's what he asks, and let's hear what the Ansat Guru Arjan Dev Jee Maharaj from their Lotus Kamal book, what they speak. The fearless Guru speaks fearless words. All this time he's been uttering his Jibri Jude. Guru Arjan Dev Jee Maharaj adores Guru. When we go through rough times, and we focus our attention on whichever divine soul. There is only one, but we see 10. Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, what Maharaj does is gives calm to the fluctuations of the mind, gives us calm, gives us adorta. The Guru who can give adorta is nothing but the form of adorta. Maharaj is just sitting there and listening, and then Maharaj, anybody else in that situation who has not now eaten or drank anything for at least, who was, जितना भी ये बच्चा आया, please कृपा करो, इन्हें खड़का तंत्र हटा दो. So Guru Ki Sangat Ji Maharaj has been without water or food for almost 24 hours. Anybody else who would be in that situation would have been wanting to get out of this predicament, get out of the situation. But Maharaj is sitting there. Maharaj ne jo jawab dene hai na, it's going to set him on fire even further than he already is in the state he is in. So Maharaj ab log kachu na bigro supne nata leo. Sorry, Guru Ki Sangat Ji, the screen just went. Deho jawab main karon upay साज ब्याह की कह तुम काए, and then Maharaj nirpay baat tab satgur bhakha. Maharaj spoke fearlessly. Suta den ki kim abhinakha. Maharaj doesn't answer anything. Maharaj says, I've got a question for you instead. From where have you got this desire that you're on about either my daughter gets married to our sons? Forget about you talking about Sada Path, whether you kill us, we'll address that later. Where have you got this desire from that you want to marry your daughter to our son? Dekho Guru Ki Sangat Ji, whoever comes before Guru Sahib, if we come here with the ichha, we Maharaj, we spend our lives working away and doing other things, we get very little time to do any kind of bhakti. We tere darbar aaye hain, Maharaj, make this time, magnify this time, make it greater than just 30 minutes or an hour, and count this in bhakti and give us a portion of your bhakti. Maharaj gives them bhakti. If somebody comes here dukhi, and prem na rave, Maharaj puts their dukh away. But Guruji, if somebody comes there with pomp, vadiyai da bukha, Maharaj knows exactly how to trip that individual up. He's sitting there, Ada robe dikha raha, trying to scare Maharaj. What Maharaj is going to do is going to infuriate him even further. Maharaj says, Sutta den ki kim abhlakha. Where has this abhlakha, this wish come for you to marry your daughter to our sons? Tu uch kul hai chubara, humko mori sas uchara. Chandu, didn't you say that your daughter is like a ucha chubara, like the spire, like the grand suite in a palace? And that our house, the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, is like a cellar. Hanji.
Mori bel so mori tara.
These were your words, were they not, Chandu? So if these were your words, where have you got this desire from? You shouldn't have this desire. Why shouldn't you have this desire? Mori male so mori tara. That the seller should be married to a seller. And our seller, meaning Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, meaning the house of Guru Nanak. The house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Ki Sangat is not a seller. What Maharaj is saying to him is his own words. So Maharaj says that your daughter, she's like the grand suite, like the spires, like the shingar of a palace, like the nice, the high place in the palace. Our house, you said, it was your words, weren't they, Chandu, is like the cellar. So for our cellar, we have found a cellar. Guru Ki Sangat Ji, what Guru Arjan Dev Jee is saying is when the second time the Purohit come to make the Rista Pakka, the Sikh Sangat from Delhi had already sent the message, we Maharaj, don't take the Rista of this Kutta Karar Chandu. Those were the exact words. the Sangat used Kutta Karad in Wakyasi, this mad dog. Because we calling him a mad dog because he has said so much bad things about the house of Imam, and also about the old sword ones. Maharajita Ristan. When the whole southern, everything was ready to do the Rista, a Sikh stood up and said this. When Maharaj read this, Chitti the Sikh Sangat had sent, Maharaj ne us vele kehta to the Purohit, Rista was not happening. But at the same time, the whole preparing has gone on for a Rista. So at that time, ex-Sikh, the father of Mata Damodri ji, he stands up and he puts his hands together. He said, Maharaj, everything is ready for the second. Take my daughter's hand in marriage for your Sahibzada. ये जो गरीब जाट गुरु का पिता और माता दमोदरी जी बड़ी भक्ति भावना वाला गुरु सिख सी. When we talk about the word greed, we don't mean poor in the sense of money or worldly wealth. Maharaj places all the worldly wealth in the tari, in the Punjab, in the hand, in the tari of their Guru Sikh. Jidda marji kharchi lave koi ant nahi hoda. Jadon bhi kharch hote Maharaj sends them money. Maharaj on about greedy, kedi greedy, when one is not rich from the wrong ways of the world. Most people, they amass so much wrongdoing, they're rich in that wrongdoing. Jara Guru da Garib Sikh is, Garib is poor from all wrongdoing, meaning there is no wrongdoing in his heart. So Guru Arjan Dev Jee kehte bhi saade chubare hain, nahi assi chubara banne. We've already found not one but two, because there are another Guru Sikh got her. Sadh Sangat ji, one thing I want to definitely touch upon. Whenever we hear that Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj had more than one wife, kade bhi kisse diya galat gallan sun ke never form the opinion how come Maharaj had more than one wife. Maharaj is not like us. We are like a grain of sand. They are like Mount Everest. There is no comparison. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj ne Shaheedi de ke, it will not be called a Gurta Gaddi from now on. It will be called a Takht. Maharaj will bring Raj into the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They are Raje already. The Pargat Hon Karna. They will bring kingship in. And when you are sitting as a king, kings have more than one wife. Maharaj has no relationship with these wives. Satguru Maharaj's Bachan creates the whole universe. We read Girka Kaval in Japji Sahib on one Bachan, Tiste Hoye, upon which happened Lakh Darya. That the whole universe, Lakhan Darya, hundreds of thousands, countless rivers of galaxies formed on one Bachan of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. If Akal Purkh Vaheguru can create the entire universe from one Bachan, then in human form for them to give Bachan, we Sahibzada Aayega, is no big thing. So never let our minds become dirty with the wrong advice of others. So at this time, two Gursikhs have gotten up and doa Gursikhyan de bachchiyan da rishta Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji nal ho gaya. And that's why Maharaj says, Mori mel so mori tara. Mile chubare, sang chubara. For our chubara, we found a chubara. But for our mori, for our seller, we have found a seller. Hey Chandu, your chubara, your spire, meaning your daughter. Why do you go and find a spire for her? Maharaj says, we said this then. You don't think that you're sitting here in front of me, that people get scared. We said this then at Harmandir Sahib alone. We say this now. That equal should meet. For our Chubara, we found a Chubara. For your spire, you should find a spire. Why even entertaining. Why have you even created this thought that you want to marry your daughter to our son? Maharaj ne idu idan lapet liya na galan ch that he is in ag lag jani hai.
अंतर बहुत हमार तुम्हारा
And then it to stoke the fire even further. Satguru said there's a big difference between yourself and I.
कित मोरी कित होत चुबारा
We are grieved, like you said, they were your words. ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਛ ਕਿਹਾ ਤੈਂ ਆਦੇ ਘਰੇ ਜੋ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਸੀ ਕਿਹਾ whatever you said all this in your house in Delhi. We didn't say it. We are grieved. You are Amir, so find yourself someone who is Amir.
कहो ना कुकर जे तै लहो कहो ना कुकर We just done this. Yeah.
अंतर बहुत
अंतर बहुत हमार तुम्हारा
So Maharaj Guru Arjan Dev Jee says, "Kaho na kukar, jo tai lahu." Maharaj said, you know this. You've heard that we called you a dog. We haven't called you a dog. Look at the mastery of Maharaj. Maharaj says one thing, and then Uttam Bada Maharaj adds more fuel to the fire. Satguruji Maharaj is luring him into the trap that he deserves to fall in. Sadh Sangati, we are only hearing of what he has been. Look, I don't know what your Hridaya are saying, what your hearts are saying, but when I listen to the Prasang of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji that gives everything to the entire world, even gives Upadesh to Jahangir, भी जे तो खुदा नू मिलना आ रहा है. That प्रेम दा सागर Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੋਲ ਬੋਲਦਾ, is speaking such harsh words. If he's doing this with Guru Arjan Dev Ji, this is only a reflection of what he is in true life. In true life, Sadh Sangat Ji, he is an absolute tyrant to everyone and anyone because he holds so much power under the administration of Jahangir.
जे ना कहो तो पी अग लह रहो
So Maharaj said, look, you know this thing that you heard, that we have called you a cooker? We haven't called you cooker. However, Maharaj says we haven't called you cooker. However, if I didn't say it then, I sure as anything do say it now.
सिख ने कहो हम हो कह तबा
Our Sikhs had said it at that time. Maharaj is saying the reality is that our Sikhs had said it in Delhi. Hanji.
सिख हम एक रूप है सदा
But Chandu, tu ye jaan know this. Even though our Sikh has said it, me and my Gursikh are one root. If my Gursikhs have said it, तुम्हारे मन विच ये जानना that I've said it. So Maharaj is proper winding up more than he can tolerate.
सुन मन जरो जरो नह बैन
Sun man jaro jaro hai bain. When he hears this, jaro ag lagegi ekdam andar. Jaro again, he can't tolerate, can't take what Guru Sahib Ji is saying.
कर पसारो लाल जिलन
Bhai Sahib, he paints a picture of what he's sitting there. You know, inna gussa aaya budde nu na, his they have gone upwards. His eyes have gone red. He's breathing deeply. He's sitting there, so much gussa, listening to what Guru Arjan Dev Ji is saying, because he had thought, well, Sab Guru Arjan Dev Ji when I want him there, where I've got him. Maharaj will become scared and take the rista of my daughter. Once the rista is taken, meri jai jaikar ho jayegi, against amongst everyone that I know, you know, my respect will be restored. The jawab Maharaj has given has made me feel, uh-oh, I didn't plan for this. What's going on? And he's sitting there infuriated.
निकट बुलावे अपन सिपाही
In this panic, in this gussa, he calls his spies, his guards over. He says, come here at once, sir.
जल भोजन भोजन देहो नाही
So for 24 hours, Maharaj has had no water, no food, nothing. And now he takes this as his first measure of torture. Guru Sangat Ji, even now when you read about or hear about countries, like for example, America and Guantanamo Bay, one method they used of torture was to keep the prisoners hungry and thirsty. When you're thirsty, your whole throat is parched. You know, you'll give into it if you are, well, most humans will give into it. But this is Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. So he's thinking the methods of torture are used with other people. Let's start the first method. And what is the first method? So Nikto Bulavo upon Sapahi. He calls the spies close to them and then he orders them. Jal Pojan Pochan Deo Nai. He said to his guards, stand guard, do not let any food or any water reach Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji.
जब लागेगी त्रिखा बहानी.
So I'm saying that he said that don't let any food or water reach Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. For me, Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj is the bare minimum. Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, I can call Satguru Sache Paatshah, Jab Guru, everything else, Narayan, Khuda can call Maharaj, whatever you want. But he's not using these words. He's using very harsh words. And the next thing he says is Jab Laghe Geet Rekha Mahani. He said once Guru Arjan Dev Ji is in a state of panic and he's really thirsty.
देगे लाख दे हो तब पानी.
Then tell Guru Arjan Dev Ji, give me 1 lakh rupiya and you'll get a sip of water.
बाकुल होए चुडित बहु जबै.
Vyakal hoye, chidat bahut jab hai. When hunger, now not only the thirst, but when hunger has started to torment Guru Arjan Dev Ji,
लेहो लाख देहो भोजन तबै.
then demand another 100,000 rupees of Guru Arjan Dev Ji and then give him some food to eat. So basically, the 2 lakh rupiah that Jahangir had discussed with this Chandu, it's no longer 2 lakh. He's saying if any water is asked for 1 lakh, any food 2 lakh. If they ask for water and food again, the same cost again. 1 lakh madar, we will give water, and for 1 lakh we will give food. Guru ki Sangati, for those of you who don't know, today's lakh rupiah is only £1,000 in today's exchange rate. The rupiah of that time, that Raj of Shah Jahan was one of the wealthiest Rajas, probably the wealthiest at that time. Lakh rupiah was a lot of money. And this is the extent this Papi Chandu is going to.
निद्रा ते जब सुपतल चहै.
He said now the third condition, Nindra te. If Guru Arjan Dev Ji becomes sleepy and he wants to go to sleep, Hanji,
देहो लाख तो सोवन लहै.
demand another 100,000 rupees and then let Guru Arjan Dev Ji go to sleep. He's come to his house after seeing Jahangir. It's the evening time. So now, jo varta chal rahi hai na, we all go to sleep in the evening, obviously. He's thinking when Guru Arjan Dev Ji wants to sleep, demand another 100,000, then let him sleep.
इसके मन में है अहंकार.
Look what he's saying. Iske man mein ahankar. He's saying to the gods, look how egotistical this Guru Arjan Dev Ji, look how proud of himself he is. He doesn't want to accept my daughter's hand in marriage to his son. Dekh kitna hankari hai. Sadh Sangh Ji, you know the person who is kana, he sees the whole world kana. The blind man sees things that no one can see because he doesn't know what's seeing it. The egotistical person thinks everyone's egotistical. He's the egotistical individual, not Guru Arjan Dev Ji. So, jo marji kahi jave, we must never let our minds get influenced by words that we hear from others that bring Guruji's avastha below. Guruji's avastha is the highest. Words cannot bring them below other than within our own minds. And we must become masters of our own minds and know that Sabte Vada Satguru Nanak, the greatest of all is Satguru Nanak, who is Guru Arjan Dev Ji, is Guru Gobind Sahib Ji, is Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Sache Paatshah. Never let anyone's words lower how we hold Satguru Ji in our hearts, because we are human and we ourselves are limited. We end up accidentally or unknowingly also limiting the unlimited, the eternal, the infinite Swarup of Satguru. They are not within limit, they are boundless. So this fool is a fool, he is egotistical, and to his God saying, look, he's not accepting my daughter's hand in marriage.
निमहे नहीं अब करो संगार.
Now, if he doesn't become humble, he's talking to his gods, knowing that Guru Arjan Dev Ji is sitting there. He said, if he doesn't become humble and accept my daughter's hand in marriage, then I will now kill him.
एक बात को निश्चय मान
Then he says to Guru Arjan Dev Jee, he said, know this one thing without a shadow of a doubt in your heart.
कह ले हो ना ताके देहो प्राण
Either accept my daughter's hand in marriage, or give me your pran, meaning give me your life.
सुन सतगुरु तब बाख अलावै
Dhan Satguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. Sun Satgur tab baat alav. Maharaj listens to him, and then Maharaj speaks from their kaval sroop, their kaval mouth.
अब ते सुपत ना पियो ना खावै
Maharaj said, Chandu, ki tu jabriyan maar rahe hain? What are you talking? What's this nonsense? What gibberish are you talking? We have no desire to eat or to drink from your house, the house of a puppy like you. Na sadi ichha koi khaan di hai, na koi sadi ichha koi peen di hai.
बैठे रहे एक ही थान
Neither will we sleep, we will sit in one place. We don't need food, we don't need sleep, and we don't need anything else.
करे हो जथा करबे मन जान
Now Maharaj is going to wind him up. Maharaj says, you know all these threats you made? With that I will kill you. Sandar kar dega. I will take your life. Maharaj said, look, Chandu, you told me to know this in my heart, that you will kill me. You know this in your heart too. Jo tere man di ichha tu kar sahi. Whatever you feel that you want to do it.
अपर कठोर सो दुष्ट बखाना
When he hears this, he's beside himself. He's not able to give an answer. He gets up and he marches out, having given the orders to his spies, to his guards, and in his heart he's enraged. This dusht is
करे से पाही गन सवदाना
He stood the guards by Guru Arjan Dev Jee Maharaj,
करे रहो राखो तरकाई
and he shouts at them. So his gussa now is going on to his guards. He's saying, Karo raho raakh tarai. Make sure you stand on guard at all times and make sure you remain strict. Not even for 1 second must Guru Arjan Dev Jee lie down. Hona Guru Arjan Dev Jee adi giti to ko mishni tak ke muh pa den. No food, no water, no sleep, nothing.
नाहे ना खाए पियो सुपताई
Do not let him eat or drink or even sleep.
पांचो सिखन पौरस बजार
Then he takes his attention. Guru ki sangat de siane kehte hunde je dushman nu marna hai na, dushman nu na maro oda puttar maar do ape mar jayega. Meaning, if you want to kill an enemy, don't kill the enemy if he's too strong. Find a way of killing his son. You kill his son, he'll die himself out of sorrow, out of sadness, out of sorrow. Now, he's using the same tactic. He's tried to put his fear into Tansat Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Maharaj, if anything, has wound him up even further. Now his attention goes over to the 5 Surbir Mahatmas of Guru Arjan Dev Ji's house. In the Deori.
कैद करो रसरिन को डार
And he says to his guards, he said, go over there, get rasiya, ropes, and tie them up nice and tight. And he does this, why? Because if he can't get to the Guru, he'll hurt the Sikhs thinking that this will upset the Guru. What he doesn't realize, Guru ne, Maharaj has given that avastha to his Sikhs. That the same avastha Bhai Mani Singh gets cut band by band, not even once flinched an eyelid in pain. Part Khadija. So he's thinking he will hurt the Sikhs, then Maharaj's mind will change, but that's not what will happen.
इसको पास ना आवन दीजो
He says, tie them up so that these Kangal Sikhs, these Chor Sikhs can't come and even talk to Guru Arjan Dev Jee Maharaj.
बात बखाने कोई ना बीजो
Do not let them even say a single word to Guru Arjan Dev Jee. Don't even let their voice come as far, meaning lock the whole room up where they are.
रखो एकाकी यह बैठाए
Keep Guru Arjan Dev Jee in one place. If Guru Arjan Dev Jee wants to budge to a different spot, don't let him even budge to a different spot.
कर रहे एक नर इस थाए
One person at all times, make sure one guard, he's saying to his guards, I want you all around him to make sure one is standing right next to Guru Arjan Dev Ji. So even if Guruji tries to budge or moves their hand, that you stop Guru Arjan Dev Ji there and then.
उठने देहो ना ओढ़न देहो
Don't let even Guru Arjan Dev Ji stand or even lean to one side.
बोलन देहो ना देखो एहो
Bolan deho na. Don't even let Guru Arjan Dev Ji speak. So if Guru Arjan Dev Ji tries to even speak to you, ikdam kalama bhi nahi bolna nahi. If not, then use force. So what he's saying, dekho eho, keep an eye, listen to what I'm saying, see to what I have said is carried out.
हिम कह सदन बरो निज जाए
He says this and he shoots up to his house.
महा दुष्ट बड़ खोट अपाए
And even in his house, Guru Ji said that Mahadusht, Paisaji calls him, that this great tyrant, even when he goes to his house, what he's not doing is engaging with his family. He's so engrossed in thought of what he should do next. Sadh Sangati, I know it's 8 o'clock. We started 5 minutes late. So we're going to carry on just 5 minutes more and then we'll be smarty for this installation of the Katha.
सो दिन बात गयो निस बीते
So then the day went, the evening went, and the night went.
खान पार बिन सतगुर रीते
The morning has come. Again, Maharaj has had no food or water, and neither of the 5-6 will Guru Sahib Ji.
सिखन मह रो रा फिर गायो
So Bhai Sahib Ji now takes our focus to outside of the walls of Chandu's residence. The Sikhs that were in the hall, remember they were coming to see Guru Arjan Dev Ji at the house of Bhai Sadhu Ji? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੌਲਾ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ they saying that Guru Arjan Dev Ji left Bhai Sadhu Ji's house to go meet to give darshan to Jahangir. So where is Guru Arjan Dev Ji gone?
गुर कित गए ना सुध को पायो
No one knows where Guruji is gone. No one has got any information. There is no news on where Guruji is.
इत उत नगर बेखै फिर हेरा
So they went around the Nagar and Lahore looking for Guru Arjan Dev Ji, just in case Maharaj might have just at night time gone to the house of some other Gursikh.
बेखै धर्मसाल आद कनेरा
All the Dharmsals, जिन्ने भी Dharmsal in Lahore, they've even gone search them just in case Guru Arjan Dev Ji has gone there.
सिखन के कर सिख फिरते
Sikhs, the जिन्ने भी Sikh are, they're going to the houses of other Gursikhs to find out we किथे गए हैं Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj.
इत सतगुर उतरे गुणवंते
Where is Satguru Ji Gunavante, the Sadha, the ocean of virtues, of good virtues? Where has our Satguru gone?
गए शाहो डिग बहर न आए
But they went to the Shah's Tuteri, but they have not returned.
किद सुधारस को गमनाए
Then they're asking, are we sure that Guru Arjan Dev Ji hasn't gone back to Sudasar? It's the Puratan Naam for Amritsar side. That are we sure they haven't gone there? But they're saying, thinking, no, if Maharaj had went there, Maharaj ने अपनी सिख संगत को तो मिलके जाना सी.
फिरत फिरत सरकारी लोक
They went here, there, and everywhere, and they came across a few Sarkari lok, few people that worked in the Sarkar, in the administration of Jahangir.
भोजन कीने सोव लोक
Then they went and asked them, we look, Guru Arjan Dev Ji came to the palace. Do you know where Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj has gone?
दिन ते सुध गन सिख न पाए
Then some people in the administration of Jahangir, जिन्होंने Guru Ji ने मत्था टेकिया सी, they told the Sikhs, they go, look, when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj was at the Darbar, Maharaj left
चंदू के दर संग सिधाए
with Chandu and the palki carriers and the 5 that were Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji.
तिसके सदन प्रवेशत हेरे
And we've also heard that some people had seen Guru Arjan Dev Ji enter the residence of Chandu.
तिमर पे पहुँचे तिस बेरे
It was night time when they arrived there.
प्रेमी सिख तहाँ को गाए
So these Premi Sikhs, once they've now heard that Guru Arjan Dev Ji was last seen going into the residence of Chandu,
देख वार बिलोकत पे
they made their way over there and they went over to the gatehouse, to the entrance to his land.
अंतर सिख पठत एक
The
बानी
5-6 Guru Ki Sangat Ji dekho. Even though these Sikhs haven't eaten anything for close to almost 48 hours, Napas Pita, they're tied with ropes as well, or we kasket. What are they doing? Antar Sikh Pathat Ikbani. The 4 Gursikhs are listening and 1 Sikh is reading Gurbani. Sat Sangat Ji, when you go from here, no doubt all of you already read Sri Gurbani Ji. Just in case there's someone like me here, what we must ask ourselves is, are the Gursikhan di Nishani, even tied up 48 hours, no food, no water, they're still doing their Nityanem. Bhai Sahib Bhai, Waheguru, I've forgotten the Singh's name, Anok Singh Babbar Ji. He had his fingernails removed. He had cuts in his body at the time of 1984. He had been beaten. He had had metal rods stuck in his eyes. He had no eyes left. Akhan burn kar dittiyan si. And what does Paisa Bhai Anok Singh Ji Babbar ask the the guard outside the cell? He said, Bhai, what time is it now? Instinctively he knew we sham kai huniya. Akhan hai nahi. Fingernails are removed, untold that the torture has been put on his body yet. Because time ki hoya. And the guard says, 5-6 baj gaye sham da vela. And Bhai Anok Singh Ji Babbar says, Rehra Sahib Ji da vela ho gaya. And he starts reading Rehra Sahib in this state. That is the reason why the guy who was in charge of the police station had Bhai Anok Singh Ji Babbar's tongue cut out. The Gursikhs that are with Guru Arjan Dev Jee, 48 घंटे tied up, koi khana, koi pina na. Well, what are they doing? They are reading Bani. When the Gursikhs outside are looking for Guru Arjan Dev Jee, they hear this, they say, Guru is here. Who else in Chandu's household is going to read Gurbani? If Guru da Sikh Bani pad rahe, if Guru da Sikh Bani pad rahe, to Guru bhi itthe hona hai. The Sipahi, the guards inside are prodding and poking the Gursikh and saying, Oi, chup kar, why are you even reading Bani? Stop speaking and sit there in silence. And the ones that are standing outside, the guards realize these people standing outside, they've come outside and start shouting at them as well. And they tell them, don't stand there, get away from here, go to your houses. These Gursikhs, they get scared. Obviously, this Chandu's got a reputation. They get scared and they go home. They're talking with each other. They're saying, look, they're panicking and they're talking to each other. They're saying, no, look, whatever we do, it's not going to work because we're up against Chandu. So now here Bhai Sahib Ji is painting a picture of कितना दा बंदा है. Guru की संगत जी इत्थे Satguru Ji Maharaj कृपा कर विश्राम है. We will pick up from here next week. And Maafi Chone that we've gone 7 minutes over. We started about 6-7 minutes late anyway, so we try to keep up with the hour worth of Katha. We will pick up from here. We'll pick up from here next week. Jada aap sare Satguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj ne charna de naal prem karte hoye aaye. Come again next week, and from where Maharaj has posed this Katha, the Katha will begin again. Whilst doing Katha Chara, know that Das made untold mistakes. Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Kirpa Kar, Maafi Bakshan, and Buddhi Bakshan to do Katha. Tusi bhi Saad Sangati Maaf Karna. Let us all prem de naam, looking at Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, let's join in Gur Fateh. So Maharaj blesses us at the end of the Katha just as they did at the beginning. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਰਾਮ ਕਲੀ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਤੀਜਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਆਨੰਦ ਪਿਆਮਰੀ ਮਾਏ